Hello, everybody. Dan here with The Wealth Instinct. I wanted to share with you my review of the book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success by Carol S. Dweck. But first, if I could ask you a favor, if you could subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so you get notifications. I share a lot of content about business, personal development, and mindset. Hey, so this book is one of those books that I think is a must read for anyone who wants to grow and and learn and reach more of their full potential. This is one of those books that in reading other books and following other speakers and authors, like I kept hearing this title come up. And, so many, when so many other people mention it, like suddenly it becomes obvious. Sometimes there's books that are popular and like the author's famous or they strike a nerve and they kind of just, go viral, so to speak. But this is one that I feel like has stood the test of time and had kind of a proven track record. And the idea in it is something that was so powerful to me personally. Um, One of the fundamental things she talks about is this distinction between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And this is so key. This is such a thing that that you need to get that could be holding you back and you might be inadvertently holding others back um, just through your language and the way you look at talent and abilities and potential. So what what um, what Dr. Dweck noticed, she was giving basically puzzles to children and just seeing how they reacted. And when she gave kids the easy puzzles and they got it solved, obviously there's this like internal reward and then they get externally rewarded and it feels good. And she noticed when she gave more difficult puzzles, some of the children really didn't want to do them because there was this fear of failure that came up and the implications of that. And then some of the children were like really excited. They said, "Oh, I was hoping this would be a challenge. I was hoping I would learn." And so she started to really get curious about that difference. And I know for me personally, growing up, I was always considered a smart kid. School was easy for me, and I was just sort of labeled as smart, and I was kind of labeled as a good athlete. And I thought those were just, okay, well, that's just I'm just those are just I'm those things, right? And I didn't really understand the extent to which you're. I didn't really understand the extent to which you can grow, and I thought these were just inherent traits. And that's what you call a fixed mindset. And the fixed mindset is that you believe that you either are smart or you're not. You're a good athlete or you're not. You're good at math or you're not. You're good with people or you're not. Right? These are beliefs we have that once you believe that you are a way or you aren't, then suddenly you think, well, what's the point in trying to improve in this area because I just have a fixed amount of ability, and so there's no point in trying to improve. Whereas if you have a growth mindset, you believe, well, I'm this good at sports because of some natural ability and because of what I've done so far in my life. But if I want to improve, there are specific things I can do and specific training I can do, and that really makes all the difference. Just that mindset. And so she mentions here it's good for parenting and business, school, relationships. If you tell a child you did really well on that test, you're so smart. You're training them to have a fixed mindset. You're training them to think that they did well because they are smart. Versus if you say, "Oh, you did really well on that test. You did all the homework and you paid attention in class, and because you did those things, you did well." It's more about what they did, not versus just some inherent trait they have. So I mean, to me, honestly, this is just such a fundamental distinction. And she has a TED talk you can watch that talks a little bit about this, but really, it just comes down to your beliefs about your growth potential and just believing that you have the potential to improve. is sort of the key that unlocks that door. And what's so debilitating is the fixed mindset and the belief that you can't grow, you can't improve. And I just know that I struggled with this for so long, because I thought that I had a fixed amount of potential, and that I didn't really recognize and value the extent to which how hard people work. I think I might get this wrong, but I think Michelangelo had a quote about, people call me a genius, but if they saw all the work I put in, if they saw really how hard I struggled to create my work, they wouldn't think I'm a genius. And that's what happens is we see someone, or we see the result of thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of work. Like we see Tiger Woods or Michael Jordan or Kobe, and we see them perform like with grace and skill, and we just sometimes think they're just a natural, it's easy for them. But what we're discounting is the work that they put in. Yeah, they're talented. Yeah, they're all that, sure, but they worked their butts off, right? And that's what happens is we just see the end result. We don't see all the hard work and the struggle and the toil and the late nights and the long days, and we just make this mental shortcut and think they're lucky. They they're naturals. And she gives like so many good examples from so many different industries, from business, from leadership, from sports, and so many different examples of people with fixed mindsets and how they can be successful, but it doesn't. Sometimes it gets messy just because of their own beliefs, can turn toxic, turn against other people, and destroy relationships. So, love this book. Highly recommend it. Go out and get it. I was actually at a used bookstore and stumbled on an old copy of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is that book that so many people are talking about and recommending. So it's one of my top recommendations. I think you should check it out. And I'd say like the most fundamental lesson from it is to challenge your own beliefs about talent and about natural ability versus skill. And it's funny, like if you think about like learning to play an instrument, right? Like if you've never played an instrument, of course you're not going to be able to play it, right? Like there's that old joke, like, do you play the violin? Well, I don't know, I never tried. Like we know that you're going to have to learn, and you're going to have to struggle, and you're going to have to make mistakes. You're going to have to play a lot of wrong notes in order to learn how to play the right notes in the right sequence with the right timing. But in other areas of life, sometimes we think that it's just going to be natural or easy, but there's always a learning process, and there's always a struggle, and it's how you deal with the struggle that determines whether or not you'll be successful. Like if you're able to embrace the struggle and say, well, I know it's going to be hard, but it'll be worth it, and I just need to keep working at it. If you embrace that struggle and keep going, you're going to be successful. But that's the whole thing. You've got to get through that struggle. And some people, when they get to the struggle, they get to the hard point, they give up, and they think, well, I guess I wasn't supposed to be a musician, or I wasn't supposed to be good at math, or I wasn't supposed to be good at relationships, or I'm just, I'm not good at this. And it's because you haven't gone through the struggle. You have to go through that struggle. You have to try and fail and try again and keep adjusting your approach until you get it right. And then that's when you'll have success. And if you find that you keep doing this in life, this fixed mindset could be a big part of it. So can't recommend this enough. Definitely check it out. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe and like my channel. Have a great day.